Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin and I like motorbikes. And in today's video, we're going to be working on some more touring comforts on my 2024 Ducati Multistrada V4S. This is a great bike and I think it can be a great touring bike. It's got radar cruise, electronic suspension, luggage such as it is. But the one thing that it doesn't have is a comfortable seat. Now, that seems a little heavy-handed. This is a $24,000 motorcycle new. And it comes with what you would think might be everything. Heated passenger seat, heated rider seat. But just because they push heat through it doesn't mean it's comfortable for long term. And as someone who likes to ride anywhere from 400 to double that a day, comfortable seat is very important. Now I know there are add-ons. I could do an air hock, I could do a gel pad, I could do all sorts of different things. But what I'm going to do is actually replace this seat. So if you're interested in what I'm going to replace it with, stick around and stay tuned. I'm glad you're here. So before we get into replacing this seat and what we're going to replace it with, let's tell you what we're working with to begin with. Here we have the rider seat. Decent purchase, decent riding position. I actually do like that. The pegs, when I got the bike, were a little bit small, if we talk about the rider triangle, but I did replace those with some SW Motec ones, and I like those a lot better. And they match well with the kind of the aesthetic the bike already has going on. So the rider seat, as I said, is heated, as is the pillions. Rider seat controls are done through the Ducati kind of telemetry and display up here at the head, but passenger seat controls are done here on this very annoying little rocker switch. So low, off, high. And for me, as I tend to be a larger human, as you would have seen, I tend to sit a little bit further back. So I'm always worried I'm going to bump that. There's probably not a great chance of that, but I'm always worried I'm going to bump that switch. And I have before, and then you notice your backside getting a little bit warmer than you want it to. So with that said, I don't carry pillions very often / ever. And so what I'm planning on doing is replacing this with a heated rider seat, but not a heated passenger seat. That being said, as I stated previously, the rider seat is controlled via the switch gear. So I need something that allows me to continue to use that. Otherwise, I've got extra controls on my display that I can't do anything with. And there are options out there that do that. And I found one, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here's what I'm replacing my stock Ducati seat with. This is a brand new seat from a company called Sargent Cycle Products. I'll put their information in the description of this video. Maybe I'll put some info up here on the screen if I think about it during the editing process. But this is a heated rider seat and a non-heated pillion or passenger seat. If we you can't feel via video, that'd be a neat trick for lots of industries. But this has more of a textured, more of a kind of an all-weather seating surface. Very excited about that. And then if we flip it over here, you see we have a new seat pan as well as our heating connector, which goes directly into the factory Ducati heating connector and allows control via the bike. There is the Sargent logo, though, although upside down. On the underside of the pillion, you'll see we have a couple things missing. One of those is the lock here, so we'll need to transfer that over from the stock Ducati seat. And also you'll notice that there's something missing from the center here. And what's missing from the center is a little Nebo flashlight that comes with this kit. So I'll show you that once we get ready to do the install. So let's go do that. All right, so here is our factory seat removed. You'll see that to remove a seat on the Multistrada, there is a place for you to put your key. There is my Ducati dealer's keychain. Bought it from Ray Hall Ducati in Indianapolis. Been a great experience so far. Definitely would recommend. But under here, you'll see that we have an extra Euro plug if you want to plug in heated gear or something else. And we have the Ducati toolkit, which sits in here. So here you'll see we have this piece that we're going to be taking off of the stock seat, and there's the heating element, which we're not going to be using. All right, so again, here is our factory Ducati pillion seat. You'll see I have my Torx head bit in the screw to take out to move over that mechanism. And again, here's our Sargent replacement seat. Wanted to quickly do a little segment here about this because that Torx head screw has been a pain to break loose. Definitely needs to be probably a Torx, maybe a security Torx. I'm using a security Torx and need to have some pretty good leverage to get it to break through. Otherwise you are going to strip it and that's going to become not terribly fun. So just something to keep in mind if you're doing this on your bike. All right, there you can see we have our locking pin attached. It ends up being a T30 Torx. What I did discover once I got it out was that there was some very good red Loctite on there. I'd be a little nervous using heat because obviously everything surrounding that metal insert is plastic, so you don't necessarily want to probably throw a lot of heat on that. Plus there's some seat foam under there, so obviously be careful there. I did throw some blue thread lock on there. Don't think we need red here, but some blue definitely would be good. And tighten it down. So, all right, let's go do the rider seat. All right, so when you're taking the rider seat off of the Multistrada V4S, I'm not sure if it applies to others, there are these little twist pins that you need to undo. That's what allows the seat to come off. And you'll see here, we have the heating element. And if we look under here, here is the underside of Multistrada V4S seat pan. So yeah, there's the electronic shock or the air canister for the adjustment on the rear. So yeah, there we go. But these pins are obviously going to be super helpful. Got all of our fuses and stuff here. Have our battery right here. Not hard to access. Definitely will be replacing that at some point with a lithium, but not today. All right, so let's get our new Sargent seat installed. There is no transfer of any parts on the rider side seat, so let's go do that now. All right, so I've got the heated seats plugged in, fit just like a champ. There are two positions here for high and low. All right, so there is the Sargent rider seat installed. It looks good. Looks like a good fit. Let's go do the passenger seat or the pillion seat, and then we'll come back and finish up this video. All right, here we have it. We have our Sargent rider and passenger seat, pillion seat installed, and let's see if we can control that rider seat while I move this messy USB cable out of the way. Let's go ahead and flip the bike on. Not sure what kind of air you would get on that, but I don't foresee us getting one. All right, go to heated seat. Low, high, back to low. Can start to feel it warming up, which at about 90 degrees outside today is definitely not what I want, but good to know it is available when I have it. So now we can go ahead and turn it off. There we go. All right, so seat control, and looks good. Let's see how she feels and finish this video up. All right, well, I am seated on my new Sargent seat on my Ducati Multistrada V4S. I will say it does seat me in a very different position, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I'll obviously learn and get used to it, but I'm not sure if I like it or not. So obviously gonna need a ride. It's comfortable, but it does seat me in a bit of an odd position. I think it'll definitely can feel more padding. So that's good. We like that. More padding definitely helps. Hey everybody, I apologize for the video quality in that first part. Wow, that was kind of crap. So I hope you're liking it. But I did want to share some follow-up after riding 180 plus miles on that new Sargent Cycle Products seat on that Multistrada V4S. So a couple days later, I filmed that on a Friday, and on that Sunday, I went and rode basically tank to tank. I filled up the bike and proceeded to then ride for the next 180 odd miles. And to be honest, about 100 miles in on the stock seat, I would feel pain in my rear end and in my thighs. And I no longer get that pain. I could easily have stopped, gotten more fuel, and ridden another 400 plus miles, I'm sure. And the only real soreness I felt was in my knees. Luckily, mid-pegs, great part about adventure bikes or touring bikes like that. Anyway, you can stand up. So I did that, unfortunately, without probably throwing some crash bars or engine guards on and maybe some kick-out pegs. That's probably not going to get solved anytime soon. But it did really improve the ride quality. Sargent Cycle Products seats, not cheap. Custom seats that have heating elements and can work with the controls of the bike rarely are, but after being able to put some miles on, I am 100% a fan of this seat. It will definitely be staying, and at least initially I would recommend it. Now obviously it's not been through the elements, it's not gone through multiple seasons, so how it holds up, I guess we'll have to wait and see, and I'll gladly give more reviews once that happens. But it definitely is a good seat, at least from the initial impressions, initial after riding impressions, I should say. So very happy with it, and I hope this video helps somebody. So if you stuck around this long in the video, I really do appreciate it. If you got something out of it, please consider giving it a like. If you're interested in more projects with the Ducati or any of the other things we got going on, please consider subscribing. I know your YouTube time is valuable, and I will always do my very best to earn that time. It's nice out, and I'm going to go for a ride here in a little bit. Hopefully you can as well. And if it's conducive to ride where you are, please go out and do so safely. And I'll see you in the next one.